Hey guys, it's me, Tikaani, and I'm feeling really judgmental today, so I was thinking we could read this Am I the A-hole together that kind of caught my eye, and I feel like there are a little bit of nuances to the situation, and I would also love to hear your guys' take on it as well. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter she has no right to police who I date, considering her mom had an affair which broke my heart and she had no issues with it? I divorced my ex-wife over a decade ago after her affair. She's now married to her affair partner and they even have a child together. I'll be honest, therapy has slowly helped me come to terms with it, but to say it traumatized me would be an understatement, which is completely valid. I think that having your partner, someone who committed to you, having an affair, like, I can't imagine how traumatizing that is. It definitely would be hard to rebuild trust, and it would be hard to co-parent after that. I feel like obviously they're gonna co-parent, and I'm sure they managed to get through that since the daughter is getting married. Oh, well, we haven't even gotten to that yet, so but I think that is completely fair that he is traumatized from his wife cheating on him. I can't imagine how he would have felt. It would have definitely been heartbreaking that someone you trusted who committed to you would betray you in such a terrible way. OP continues. My ex-wife and I share a daughter, 25 female, who's getting married in a month. She's close with both of us, and I've always made it a point to never badmouth her mom despite everything that happened. The affair didn't affect her relationship with her mom at all. First things first, I would like to know, how does he know that the affair didn't affect her relationship with her mom? Like, were they just like besties all the time and they continued being besties? Were they just like arm's length like some teenagers are? I mean, it's so weird because like that's such like a weird thing to say. I would imagine it probably did affect her relationship with her mom in some way. But let's just assume that it didn't affect it at all. Okay? And he said that he made it a point to never badmouth her mom, which yeah, that's just basic parenting. My parents divorced when I was 1, and my birth giver loved to badmouth my dad. And then when she and my stepfather divorced, he had raised me since I was like freaking 4 years old. I was like a little kid. And he had raised me since I was like a little toddler. And when they got divorced, she would bash him to me all the time too, which was really frustrating because I looked at him like my dad. And it was really hurtful listening to her say nasty things about him to me, and just like, I mean, considering that they do have like a kid together too, my little brother having to hear that was like super traumatizing for him too. And, having to listen to that, and even when we advocated for ourselves saying, "Hey, how about you not bash our dad?" She would go on a rampage. I don't think parents should be bad mouthing each other, even if it was an affair, even if it was a divorce, even if it was a whatever the situation may be, a betrayal of any kind, really. I don't think that he should be boasting about it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I think it's weird that he brings it up. Like, I made it a point to know. It's like, yeah, you should have. Just like that's just like saying I made it a point to feed my kid every day. Like, yeah, you should be civil with the mom and not badmouth the mom to her. I guess if he's saying that like he's made it a point to never badmouth her mom to anybody, I guess that's fine. It's still a weird thing to bring up. But okay, we're moving on. A few months ago, I was having lunch at a cafe when someone recognized me. She turned out to be my daughter's maid of honor. I don't really know my daughter's friends that well, so I didn't recognize her. We ended up having lunch together, exchanged numbers, and I initially thought my daughter might have put her up to something. The next day, she asked me out for lunch again, and then this went on for a couple weeks. And then one day, she asked me out for dinner. I accepted, and then we went back to her apartment and slept together. I honestly thought it was gonna be a one-time hookup, but she kept wanting to see me more. Like, she was interested in an actual relationship. For context, I haven't dated anyone since my divorce, so I was confused about what she saw in me. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel nice to have those feelings again after so long. Okay, let's just dissect that chunk for a little bit. So, the maid of honor saw him at the cafe, and she approached him, and then they exchanged numbers. Assuming since the daughter's 25, I'm gonna assume that the maid of honor is probably around that age too. Like, 25, I think, would be fine. if they want to date someone as old as their dad, I guess. And he said that he didn't really know them. Like, I would be curious, were they like friends since they were kids? I would imagine that would be uncomfortable for her if they were friends since they were kids. But if it was just like, someone she met in college that he didn't know as a child, then I don't think it's that big of a deal. You'll have to tell me what you think about that specifically because I'm very interested. But I just like don't think it's that big of a deal unless he knew her as a child. Then it's kind of weird. I do think it's weird to date someone that's the same age as your child. I think that's strange. Not a choice I would make, but I don't have kids, so I think it's strange. I'm gonna side eye you a little bit, but I don't think it's like weird in like a disgusting way. However, if he did know that girl since she was a child, then I think that's weird in like a really gross way. But assuming this, he said he didn't know her, so I'm just gonna assume that maybe it's a friend that she met in college. Of course, we don't know. Maybe it is a friend she's had since childhood. Maybe it is a friend she met in college. But I'm just gonna go with the assumption of that because the idea of the other option kind of weirds me out. And he was obviously really excited for this new relationship, and I don't really think there's anything wrong with that relationship. Like I said, I don't have a problem with age gap relationships. I don't have a problem with someone 25 dating someone like 90 years old. Whatever floats your boat, okay? You can totally do that. But as long as like you're past that age of matureness and also like they weren't a part of raising you as a kid, like, that's a little weird. Okay, so then he continues. Still, I didn't feel right hiding this from my daughter. Even though my girlfriend, yes, she's my girlfriend now, insisted it wasn't necessary and would cause drama. Eventually, she agreed we should tell her. So, what I get from that is the girlfriend wanted them to hide it and not talk about it because it would cause drama and it was unnecessary because he said he didn't feel right hiding it from his daughter. Or were they just lying by omission, like just not talking about it? I would be interested in that because I do think that once like they slept together, like I feel like before they slept together, if they were going on several lunch dates for weeks, he couldn't have mentioned that to his daughter one time, like, hey, I met this person, like just talk about it. Or she couldn't talk to her friend just one time. Like that person would not be my maid of honor after this because like you couldn't talk to me one time during that couple weeks. So much so that the dad's like, I'm hiding this from my daughter and I don't want to. I feel like it should have been brought up maybe when I don't know. I don't know if like maybe when they exchanged numbers, but I do think after maybe like the second or third lunch together, I feel like it would have been appropriate to bring it up and be like, hey, so I'm dating your dad. Like, I guess that would be a very uncomfortable conversation to have, but as adults, they should have that conversation. And he continues. When I told my daughter, she completely freaked out. She verbally tore into the both of us, called me selfish, disgusting, and said I was ruining her wedding, and that she couldn't believe I did this to her. She's barely speaking to me now. My girlfriend says my daughter will have to get over it and that she's being hypocritical considering what her mom did to me. So yeah, obviously the daughter's reaction is kind of dramatic. Again, depending on whether like she knew the friend since she was a child versus maybe meeting her in college, kind of like sways how this reaction went. Like if she was calling him disgusting and stuff and she knew that girl since she was a child, it's kind of weird, right? If she knew her since college, I think it might be a tiny bit over dramatic. I wouldn't say it would be ruining her wedding, but I do kind of understand where she's coming from in the sense of she might feel like people will see them together at the wedding and then talk about it, and that's all they're going to talk about at the wedding. I feel like they maybe should have waited. Like, after a couple weeks. I mean, they're adults, so they can sleep together on the first date if they want to. But like, yeah, maybe they should have waited to spring this on the daughter, but I don't it's really like weird, like it's a really nuanced situation because you wouldn't want to tell her right away because then she would be stressed before the wedding, right? But the longer you withheld that, the worse it would be that you withheld it. What do you guys think? And also the girlfriend being like, she'll get over it. She's being hypocritical because her mom cheated on OP, which what? What? What the fuck does the mom having an affair? What does the mom having an affair have to do with with him dating his daughter's friend. Really immature of the girlfriend to say that, like kind of weird also. And I just, oh my god, it's just like really weird. And I just don't see what the heck the mom and her having an affair has to do with the friend and the dad dating. The mom having an affair has nothing to do with the friend and the dad dating, you know? So I just think it's a little strange that they're bringing that up. And then he continues. My girlfriend asked if my daughter's relationship with her mom was affected by the affair, and I said no. And she said I have to tell my daughter that. Again, how does he know that it wasn't affected at all? Like, it could have been affected in some way that maybe he just didn't see it. Like, maybe, I don't know, like they just didn't talk about it. I mean, we don't know. The friend being like, oh, you gotta call her and tell her that. Why? What does the mom's affair have to do with that? And then he said, I later called my daughter and told her, where was this outrage when her mom, someone I love dearly, broke my heart? It didn't affect her bond with her mom one bit. My daughter seemed sad on the call and started crying. And I felt a bit guilty, but I said my piece. That was really messed up. I think that's like a really big asshole move to be like, why weren't you mad at your mom? Like, you don't know. She could just not talk to you about it. And like the idea that he would slap that in her face, like just be like, why weren't you outraged with your mom? Your daughter has nothing to do with the affair the mom had. Your daughter has nothing to do with the mom cheating on you. Like, did your daughter set up the guy and the mom? Probably not. You know, like she had nothing to do with it. So to be like, well, where's your outrage? Is just so freaking ridiculous. It makes me so mad. Because what do you mean, where was the outrage? And also, she's an adult now, and this does affect her because it's her freaking friend. It's not you just sleeping with a 25-year-old, it's you sleeping with her friend that was her close enough friend to be her maid of honor. You know, like, you don't just give someone maid of honor. They had to be close friends. Or maybe she just didn't have any friends. I don't know. There are other situations, I guess. But assuming if she's the maid of honor, I'm going to assume that they were close friends. I don't know if they were friends since high school, college, or since they were kids, which again, I think is really important to add, but whatever. And then him being like, I felt a bit guilty, but I said my piece. It's like, and was it worth it? Was it worth like calling your daughter and being like, where was the outrage? That's what you wanted to say? Was it worth it? What did that achieve? What did that do? That doesn't do anything but hurt your kid. Like, maybe you could have called her and had a civil conversation and been like, hey, I know it's weird, but we really connected over a lunch, you know? Like, there's so much that could have happened before this. The freaking audacity to do that, and the freaking, I'm dumbfounded. Excuse you? And then he ends it with, am I the a-hole for dating my daughter's maid of honor? No, but you're the a-hole for other things in here. What do you mean? So let's go to the comments. This one says, the title is misleading. It has nothing to do with your ex, and it's interesting that you and your girlfriend are pretending it does. A lot of women think it's gross when their dads date women their age, especially when it's someone they know. You're the a-hole not for who you're dating, but for pretending that you don't understand your daughter's issue with it. Another person replied, the maid of honor so nicely reminding OP about his daughter's reaction to her mother and telling OP to use it against the daughter feels extremely manipulative. Also, it sounds like she went after OP hard. The whole thing feels like the maid of honor secretly hates her friend. This person replied, I'm so confused why they even think that they're comparable situations exactly. It's not like it's the father having an affair and saying, you didn't care about your mom cheated, so now I'm cheating. It's literally completely different. And then someone replied and said, I think that he's trying to get the point across poorly, is that the daughter didn't have a problem with what should have been considered something distasteful and betraying that her mother did. So this distasteful and betraying thing he's doing should also get a pass from her. I mean, you know, I don't know. It's still weird to bring up. It literally has nothing to do with each other. And this person said, not to mention the girl was 15 at the time and most likely living with her mother after the divorce. Oh yeah, because he did say a decade ago and she's 25. So yeah, she would have been 15. Like, you don't know. Like, how do you know? And yeah, especially if they're living, if she was living with him, you know? This person replied, usually the maid of honor is either a sister or the best friend. You do realize you're dating your daughter's best friend, right? On what planet is that okay? Not to mention, you're old enough to be her father. If my dad did that to me, I'd be pissed. Curious how she was reluctant to review oh my god. Curious how she was reluctant to reveal their relationship to her friend at first and then manipulated OP into a complete non sequitur of a counterattack. OP wants to pretend he's stupid because he likes having his ego massaged by his hot young girlfriend, so he accepted his girlfriend's interpretation of why his daughter's pissed off at him without exercising a single jot of critical thinking. Good luck ever meeting your grandkids or being known to your social circle as anything other than a dirty old man, my guy. Because as soon as this woman gets what she wants by sabotaging your relationship with your daughter, she'll probably piece out of your life like the effing Roadrunner. Older women won't want anything to do with someone so demonstrably self absorbed, and younger women who do give you your attention will likely want something in return for being your companion. Congrats on the own goal. The own goal? Congrats on the own goal, buddy. The own goal? What the heck is an own goal? Someone pointed out that it's interesting that he didn't mention his age here, except for his daughter's age. So he absolutely knows that a guy in his late 40s, early 50s has no business hooking up with a girl in her 20s. And then finally, we've got this comment using her mother's affair that happened while she was a minor in that way is manipulative. That's what I'm saying. Your title made it sound as if you were dating any random person, but it's her best friend, and seeing as you didn't include your age, I'm gonna assume you are double their age. To say you thought it was going to be a one time thing after weeks of dating is also shady. You are right in that you are allowed to date who you want, but your daughter is also allowed to be upset when it's her best friend. Both you and your girlfriend are being manipulative and assuming she would have probably confided in her friend about her mom's affair makes her friend's statement even more manipulative. Yeah, like it's just kind of it's really weird. Like it's really weird to me. Like I said, I if you really did never meet her and they just happened to meet at a coffee shop and like but it's weird cuz he said, well, I guess she would have had to bring it up being like I'm your daughter's maid of honor the first time they met. Like so I guess I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird, right? I just feel like he could have talked to the daughter at any point and been like, "Hey, I'm having lunch with your best friend." I also think it was extremely inappropriate to bring up the fact that the mom had an affair. That has nothing to do with your daughter and you dating her best friend. That is a completely different situation. Also, it's not a freaking praise because you didn't talk trash about your ex wife that you were co parenting a child with. I mean, I feel like that's some basic decency. As I grew up in a household where my birth giver would just talk crap about my dad and then later on the man that raised me. And I think it's just so messed up that you would even talk trash about your like you're co-parenting a child together. It really is that simple. You're co-parenting a child together. Like you have to treat that person with some form of respect, you know? Like it's just really messed up. And it's really messed up to like slap it in her face like, "Well, you didn't have, you didn't have an outrageous reaction like this with your mom." Like maybe she held it in. Maybe she just sobbed a lot. Like you don't know. Like him wording it as like she never like it didn't even affect the relationship. I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe that one bit. Like I don't. I don't. I had to help my mom through an affair where like she was cheated on and stuff and like it made me look at that person like negatively. It's just really gross and really weird and really uncomfortable, and I feel so much for the daughter, and I do kind of think that the girlfriend might be being malicious. I mean, we don't know that, but I do think it's a little, yeah, a little suspect that she pursued the dad so hard knowing it was her best friend's dad. And I just, that's just really strange to me. That is just really strange to me. And like the daughter, yeah, like the person pointing out that the daughter has a right to be upset about it. I totally agree. Like everybody's allowed to have their feelings. However, like how you express those feelings is different, but like someone can be hurt and upset by something, and you can allow them to feel that without slapping something else in their face being like, "You can't be hurt because of XYZ." Like, no. You can still be hurt by something. It's just like a whole ridiculous scenario, you know? Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. That was it for this Reddit read. Before I go, I want to show you guys some cross-stitching stuff that I've been working on. So I've been listening to Epic the Musical, which is about Odysseus and I don't know. Listen, I just like the songs, okay? I don't know, like I know what the story is kind of, but I just like the songs. For my partner and I's anniversary, I was making him this, but I didn't like how the text turned out, like the writing. So I pretty much just stopped filling it in because I just hate how the writing looks. But them boats though, like isn't that cool? Like, look at this one. That's a good boat, you know? That is a good boat. This is supposed to be Poseidon. This is supposed to be Poseidon, and the song is Rooflessness. And like it is first it's a banger of a song. It's just a really good song. And like, it says ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. It's like, about protecting yourself and like fighting for your goal and not like base you just really have to look it up, okay? Like it's called Epic the Musical and it's just it's really good. Like there's people that made these little animation drawings with it and it's just so good. Like oh my god, this is so good. But yeah, I didn't know how I felt about this, so then I decided to start over and I actually got proper embroidery thread instead of just using like sewing thread. So then I made these little boats. Isn't it cute? And I want to put the Poseidon in the back, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Like I love the way the boats look, but I don't know how I'm gonna put him in the back. Like I have him drawn back here, but it just doesn't look like I don't know. Like look at that. Like I feel like it's not gonna come out nicely. It's just I don't know. I'm having like a really hard time continuing this because like I really like the bottom half and it took me forever to do. So, I just it sucks, you know? These are the hobbies that I've been doing lately. I've also been working on a video essay about pet fish in grocery stores specifically, or supermarkets or whatever, that I am working on, and I'm really excited to finish scripting that so I can record it. It is gonna be a long one. I've got 50 pages written so far, and I'm still going. So I'm really excited. But yeah, so I'm working on that, and I figured since I'm working on that, I could just maybe do a few like Reddit videos or a few meme reaction videos and stuff like that. And I just really wanted to show off my cross stitching too. Like isn't it like my embroidery? This is embroidery technically. So like, isn't it so good? Look at them little boats. Like I did that. I did that. Like how crazy is that? Like it's just like so exciting. Like I love starting new hobbies. I love doing new things and experiencing new things and like learning new stuff, and it's just so exciting to be able to be in a place and being an adult and allowing myself the opportunity to try a bunch of new hobbies and really like just doing whatever my heart desires, you know? Like and I just think that's so cool. I mean, for those of you that know, like I, grew up in a abusive home and I was definitely parentified, so I didn't really get to like experience a lot of hobbies or a lot of like out of school activities and stuff. I've just been overfilling with creativity. Like I'm just like so excited to like make things and try things and see what I like. And I've done my needle felting. I made a couple bodies, so I gotta make their heads and stuff and their little legs, but I made a couple like needle felted bodies for my little like needle felted characters. And it's just so exciting. It's just so good to be taking like antidepressants and to be feeling good about yourself and to be properly medicated and then to just like explore like new hobbies and new like exciting things and just allowing yourself to like just open up and try new things. And if you fail, that's okay. It's okay to fail. I mean, like I failed with the freaking letters, okay? But I'm proud of it nonetheless. And I feel like I've also been getting pretty good at doing makeup too, and like that's pretty cool. And I'm just so excited. And I'm so excited about all the videos that I'm making and all the scripts that I'm writing. I literally have so many scripts that I'm in the process of writing, but I'm right now just hyper fixating on that fish one. So, yeah, if you want to see that fish video, it will be up on my Tikaani channel where I'm so Tikaani, it's uncanny. You can go over there, watch that whenever it's posted. I don't know when it's going to be posted because I'm not even done scripting it yet. But that channel is where I post like my scripted content, my video essays, my like more deep dived content, and then obviously this channel is just like whatever else pretty much. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Don't forget to like the video or dislike it, I guess. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of me. Tell me what you thought about this Am I the A-hole thread below. Did you think that the dad and the maid of honor were in the wrong? I mean, I don't know, it's really complicated. I do think that how they went about it was really wrong, and I also think bringing up the wife's affair as if what he was doing was equal to the affair was really wrong and like disgusting behavior, to be honest. But I don't necessarily think like him dating the friend is wrong, except like it really depends on the situation. Well, I mean, like it's really uncomfortable. Like it's just an uncomfortable feeling. And I like if he just really did just develop feelings for the uh maid of honor, then like I get that, and I'm all for like people finding love and exploring like love, and like they're both consenting adults. But I think the daughter has a right to be mad about it. Just because it's not legally wrong and it's not edging on legally wrong. It's just a little morally like, like I'm side eyeing you. I'm looking at you, man. All I'm saying. But yeah, I'd love to hear your take in the comments down below. And I will see you next time I post something on one of my channels. So thank you guys again, and goodbye. Bye, guys.